the new wave of professional wrestling, Capital Wrestling.
Sacrifice. 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 Sacrifice.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Capital Wrestling. I'm Stephen James, being joined by Mr. Entertainment, the owner of Capital Wrestling, Harry Tujani.
The Jersey Muscle Jock, Steve Gipkey, is finally here at Capital Wrestling. And I'm here to let everybody know exactly why I am a doer.
Hey, draw a line in the center, keep him back. Draw a line in the center, keep him back. In the center, keep him back to the corner. Keep him back.
On the road to episode 100. It's 99 episodes I've had to sit next to you.
Well, you know what? This is a very bittersweet moment as we approach episode 100. And I'll be honest with you, it's hard for me to concentrate on this match because this is a new talent. This is part of the Undeniable Talent Initiative, the UTI that was started by Zach Amico, the head of talent, who the poor guy is in the ER right now, still recovering from the staples put into his head by that lunatic Chuck Payne.
Those staples must have been hopefully dipped in penicillin.
Okay. You take so much glee in this. This is a match that Zach himself created, and it's very sad. So let's try to, as I get health updates on Zach, he will be all right, they said, but he will make a full recovery at some point. But mentally, the poor young lad is disturbed right now.
So it's Stephen Gipkey taking on the Nickelback of Cats, Shad Kroger?
Shot the Kroger.
Shot the Kroger?
It's French for cat.
That looks like Buck Gunderson.
Well, I mean, they might have trained or bought the same gear, but I do not think that's exactly. Amico wouldn't rebrand it. He wouldn't bring me something that was already here. I told him to bring me brand new talent. That's why we have Steve Gipkey out here.
Are you sure? He looks surprisingly like Buck Gunderson.
Well,
we saw last time at the Colossal Confrontation.
Well, they're both Canadian. You know, those Canadians, they probably shop at the same place, you know, the Tim Hortons or whatever.
Look at the impressive physique on Gipkey here.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Shot the Kruger.
But trying to break the wrist lock there.
And look at this. A battle to see who will come out on top here. You know, a battle of strength here. Both with a background in amateur athletic wrestling, collegiate wrestling.
Gipkey, born and raised in North Jersey to a cop father and a painter mother, Gipkey lived the duality of being raised tough in a strict household, but had the ability to find the beauty in everyday world.
Oh, well, it's a lovely little poem you read there.
See what happens when you talk to the talent, when you talk to these competitors?
I'm busy doing things. I'm running a company. This is a business, Stephen.
Any of those things cutting me my check?
You have received your checks. They've been cashed. That's what I've talked to Downing.
Under your name.
Somebody has cashed your checks. So you got to, I would be.
Side headlock.
Don't take it up with me. Take it up with your mailman. Let's focus on this match here. Again.
Power of Gipkey here. And don't forget our main event of the evening, Nyla Rose versus Ariela Nyx for the Women's Championship, coming up later tonight.
Look at the positioning of that body slam. It's a textbook body slam. And look at this. But shot to
Kroger to
Kroger,
the outside.
wanting a breather.
The Nickelback of cats.
Nickelback is very popular in Canada. They believe they're Canadian. There's a lot of bands up there, you know, with that Canadian law up there that are still popular up there.
Before the match, he asked me to look at this photograph. Just didn't get it.
And the forearm, look at the strikes by Shat de Kruger, who some believe is Buck Gunderson, but I don't buy it.
How do you not buy it, Harry?
I trust Zach Amico would never make a mistake like that.
And dragging the face of Gipkey across the top rope.
I mean, you know, Buck Gunderson didn't wear a mask. I mean, this is clearly night and day here.
But look at the moves. Very similar to Buck Gunderson. Cover.
They're very similar. And again, it's a Canadian style of wrestling. It's a Canadian lucha. That's what this is.
Elbow to the top of the head.
You know, not everybody wrestles the same, Steven. You know, I'm surprised that in 99 episodes you haven't figured that out. There's different styles, different techniques.
In 9 minutes you haven't figured out that that's Buck Gunderson.
Well, whoever this is, right now he's got the advantage here against the newcomer, Stephen Gipkey.
Gipkey looking to impress early on, whether it be the Capital Wrestling faithful or Mr. Entertainment here. And taking him over with a big back body drop. Telling him to get up, forearm, and another. Gaining a head of steam is Gipkey. Standing kick, right on the button cover. This could be it, 1, 2. Hands on the ropes.
Look at that, the cat-like reflexes of Shat de Kruger. He's a cat and a Kruger. Uh-oh. The straps are coming down.
Setting him up.
And he might be about to spay this cat right now. Oh, going for the roll-up. 1, 2.
Had a handful of tights there, too. Trying to be a little bit of a cat burglar. Does that work?
I hate it when you do puns.
Shoved into the ropes. Has him up.
Wow.
German suplex. Discus forearm. Has him up. In a torture rack position. But an airplane spin. Dropping him down with a cutter like neckbreaker cover. This could be it. 1, 2, 3. And what an impressive debut by newcomer Stephen Gipkey. How do you feel about Stephen Gipkey's debut here?
No doubt about it. I mean, that was
Here's your winner, the Jersey Muscle Jock, Steve Gipkey.
Someone gets Shat de Kruger a saucer of milk so he can lick his wounds.
Well, luckily for him, he has 8 other lives to continue here at Capital Wrestling, but let's focus on the victory here by Stephen Gipkey. A tremendous and impressive debut here. I mean, he's got the look, he's got the skills, the physique, he's got the movie star good looks, a film school background, a working class background. He's a regular hero in the making.
Coming up in our main event, it's Nyla Rose versus Ariela Nyx for the women's title. Let's hear what the challenger had to say.
Chicken wings, mumbo sauce, and carryouts. Some of my favorite things. And this can only mean that yours truly, Nyla Rose, the native beast, the monster of the Mid-Atlantic, is back in the USA and back at Capital Wrestling. Now, a lot of stuff has changed. My partner, Rump Thump, is nowhere to be found. But that's all right. You see, it's been brought to my attention that someone has been running rampant around here. Who could it be? Ariela Nyx? The only reign of terrible, yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. The reign of terrible is that cattywampus wildebeest Portia running around beside you. She's distracting to my eyeball holes. Anyways, I got some business to take care of. Nyx, watch your step and watch your ass.
Are you in need of a lawyer who will fight for you? Well, EDA Law will go off the top rope for you and your needs. Pro wrestling veteran Eric Anderson has brought his no-nonsense approach from the ring to the courtroom. The New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer and his team focuses on business law, criminal defense, and representing members of the pro wrestling industry. For more information, head on over to edalaw.com. That's edalaw.com. EDA Law, for those in the law who wrestled know how to wrestle the law.
This week's edition of Capital Wrestling Television is brought to you by the home of the Capital Wrestling Podcast, the El Toro Podcast Network. Whether it's Capital Wrestling, the world of professional wrestling, or the world of informational technology, El Toro's Podcast has you covered. Follow them on Twitter at El Toro's Podcast, or subscribe right now on Google Podcast, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, Podbay FM, or on Apple Podcast.
Fight fans, prepare for the new wave of professional wrestling. Capital Wrestling brings you all of the hard-hitting and high-flying action every week for free on Fight. From the Concrete Rose Sonny Kiss to the Dark Heart Ken Dixon to Capital Champion Matt McIntosh, you won't miss a moment from the Capital. Be sure to download the Fight app in the iOS and Google App Stores, as well as Amazon, Apple TV, and your favorite gaming console. Capital Wrestling. Catch the new wave.
Capital Wrestling fans, Mark Adam Haggerty backstage once again, and this time I am with the Jersey Muscle Jock, Steve Gipkey. And Steve, you had an impressive debut here tonight, and we're learning so much about you. A modern-day Renaissance man is Steve Gipkey. What brought you here to Capital, and what do you have on your mind here now that you are here?
You know, Mark, growing up, my dad was very strict. My mom was very creative, very passionate about her art. And I learned how to combine the two of those things. And then I always wanted to search for the next challenge, the next big thing, the next big step in my life. And I found that here at Capital Wrestling, because the Jersey Muscle Jock, Steve Gipkey, is here to change professional wrestling. I'm here to embrace the grind. I'm here to run right into the storm. And I'm coming out with my hand raised high because I'm a doer.
Huh. Steve Gipkey ready for Capital Wrestling. The question is Capital Wrestling ready for Steve Gipkey?
We're gonna find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Capital Wrestling. I'm Stephen James, being joined by Mr. Entertainment, Harry Turjanian. And what a wonderful night we've had so far. We saw the debut of a victorious Stephen Gipkey, and now it's women's title matchup.
That's right, we're going to see Ariela Nyx hope to continue her Women's Championship Wednesdays and keep making history. But standing in the way, of course, is Nyla Rose.
The native beast making her return to Capital Wrestling after touring Japan. Nursing the loss of her partner, Stefan Smith, formerly Rump Thump, her butt guy.
Well, he was the butt guy. Get it straight. That was, you know, because...
Yes, her butt guy.
Well, that's...
Not literally her. Pay attention, Harry.
Well, you pay attention. I pay attention to a lot of things. And of course, Nyla Rose, a long time since she stepped foot in a Capitol ring. It wouldn't be the first opportunity here at the Women's Championship. But somebody who has defended that title week after week. Our gift, the lucky present we get to see every week. Ariela Nyx, escorted, of course, by the Femibus, Portia Vaughn.
The Capital Wrestling Women's Champion. The answer to your prayers, Ariela Nyx. Her 1 year anniversary from her debut is tonight.
And of course,
what a better way to spend it than defending her title.
Joined alongside by their personal ring announcer, Beautiful Buckley.
I really don't like that guy.
Of course you don't. You're jealous. And you should be. Look at those abs.
Really? You're gonna...
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee in charge of the action, Mr. Nation. Introducing first the challenger, fighting out of the Den of Lions, the native beast, Nyla Rose!
New champ! New champ! New champ!
I don't think so, Serenity.
Finally.
Before I introduce the greatest women's wrestler on the planet, I'll give you the pleasure of introducing me.
Scotty's our announcer!
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing beautiful white carpet.
Well, that's not a great introduction. See, this is why you need somebody like Mike Buckley there to... Beautiful Buckley, excuse me.
Look at him, he's admiring his abs. Pay attention.
See, now that is how you do it. That's an announcer. That is an
so
announcer.
full of himself.
And now, it is my great pleasure to announce to you, first, the manager, the brilliant, Portia Vaughn!
Portia Vaughn, the Femivist, and a manager of champions.
The fans giving her the old Chicago cheer.
Hailing from the Elysium, she is the answer to all your prayers, and she is the Capital Wrestling Women's Champion now and forever. Here is Ariella Nyx!
Wow, just wow. So many wonderful things. Just first of all, the beautiful ring attire of Ariela Nyx. I mean, also the championship belt, and then the introduction by beautiful Buckley.
Can we stop
So much.
with the introductions and just get on with the matchup? This championship action.
It's called pageantry, Stephen.
Pageantry.
And a
It's
champion.
called tomfoolery whenever beautiful Buckley's around.
And beautiful Buckley, come on over
He's
here.
coming over here. Don't
Yeah,
let
why
him come
not?
over
Come
here.
take a seat. Take a seat. Grab a headset. Why don't you? Grab a headset. Beautiful Buckley. I just want to say, what a tremendous job that you did. I mean, you know, I gotta note to self. I gotta get rid of Scotty Cerriti and hire beautiful Buckley. But you know what? I wouldn't take that away from Portia Vaughn and Ariella Nyx. I know you have a lot of.
Ariella Nyx!
Can you not do that in my ear?
He can't help it. I mean, he's so enthusiastic.
I'm overwhelmed by her talent.
You've already done that.
Yeah, but who among us is not? Who among us isn't a fan of the women's champion, Ariella Nyx?
Ariella Nyx!
Are you kidding me? Really? This
Really?
whole time? This whole time?
Well, listen, the man is.
Can I talk to Portia Vaughn about a restraining order against beautiful Buckley?
Well, if you go in there, she might put a restraining order against you. With that beard, you fit several descriptions.
Trying to move the native beast is Ariella Nyx.
That reminds me, your picture's still up.
Ariella Nyx!
Your picture's still up at the post office, Stephen. And Ariella Nyx, let's focus on this matchup
Portia
here.
Vaughn on the outside grabbing the legs
Stephen, I
of the
think you're
native
just
beast.
you're a member of the patriarchy, and you're just oppressive.
I'm just trying to do my job here without nonsense from people like you.
Oh, I see. When a woman is involved, it's nonsense, huh? Ah, ridiculous.
Are you calling beautiful Buckley a woman?
No, what?
Splash,
How dare
cover,
you.
1, 2. I was talking about he's nonsense, not this championship matchup that I'm trying to focus on.
Beautiful Buckley is a gorgeous man, and all you know, and there's a lot of things going on. There's nothing
Take him
wrong.
out to the
You're
far
quite
side
a
after.
handsome fellow yourself.
Oh,
there,
thank
Harry.
you. You know, game knows game, but look at that.
Look at the power of Nyla Rose.
But smartly, look at where Ariella Nyx.
Ariella Nyx!
Look at where she. I'll use pronouns to get through some of these. But
Just
no respect.
Fantastic. I know they don't. They're classless around here, and also they don't believe in feminism or championships.
Oh, and into the post goes Nyla Rose.
This is Hoboken, New Jersey, the city Sinatra left in the dust. That's why he's saying New York, New York. It's right across the river.
And look,
And
Portia Vaughn on the ring apron.
Well, she's up there trying to educate referee Nick Shane about some of the...
Educate him about what?
About the wage gap.
Every time Ariella Nyx has a title shot, has a title match.
Ariella
Oh, you've got to be kidding
Nyx!
me. You've got to be kidding me.
Well,
Every time she has a title shot.
Who are you talking about? Anyway,
No, Portia Vaughn gets involved, and look, Ariella Nyx with a chair.
Ariella Nyx!
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Pretending that she hit herself.
A little bit of chicanery. Did referee Nick Shin hear that chair shot?
What chair shot? There's no chair. I don't see any chair.
What are you talking about?
A calculated risk. She made a mistake.
Well, at this point,
that's a chokehold.
It is.
That is a blatant chokehold.
Well, pipe down. Stick to saying one catchphrase.
You wish you had a catchphrase, but look at this. And
look at the power of Nyla Rose trying to.
A bad position for the
to the
champ
outside, but
here.
look at Portia Vaughn on the outside, holding the legs there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, not again. Another travesty.
And still, Capital Wrestling Women's Champion, the answer to all your prayers,
You have got to be kidding me. Once again, Ariela Nyx with Portia Vaughn stealing the title.
In case there was any question about who the women's champion is and will be forever.
But look at the face of Nyla Rose, not pleased. You gotta wonder, with Ronnie Nicole waiting in the wings with a title shot, what does this mean?
Steven, what this means is that we continue making history as Ariela Nyx continues to be the Capital Wrestling Women's Champion now and forever.
It was an absolute travesty what we witnessed yet again. Portia Vaughn getting involved in the matchup.
We'll be back with more Capital Wrestling. You're ridiculous. You're not a fan of feminism, are you? I got a thing or two to teach you. You ever heard of Woodstock? Where you going? Where you going? We'll be right back with more Capital Wrestling. We don't need him. It's all good. Stay tuned for Capital Wrestling.
Are you in need of a lawyer who will fight for you? Well, EDA Law will go off the top rope for you and your needs. Pro wrestling veteran Eric Anderson has brought his no-nonsense approach from the ring to the courtroom. The New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer and his team focuses on business law, criminal defense, and representing members of the pro wrestling industry. For more information, head on over to edalaw.com. That's edalaw.com. EDA Law, for those in the law who wrestled, know how to wrestle the law.
This week's edition of Capital Wrestling Television is brought to you by the home of the Capital Wrestling Podcast, the El Toro Podcast Network. Whether it's Capital Wrestling, the world of professional wrestling, or the world of informational technology, El Toro's podcast has you covered. Follow them on Twitter at El Toro's Podcast, or subscribe right now on Google Podcast, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, Podbay FM, or on Apple Podcast.
Fight fans, prepare for the new wave of professional wrestling. Capital Wrestling brings you all of the hard-hitting and high-flying action every week for free on Fight. From the Concrete Rose Sonny Kiss to the Dark Heart Ken Dixon to Capital Champion Matt McIntosh, you won't miss a moment from the Capital. Be sure to download the Fight app in the iOS and Google App Stores, as well as Amazon, Apple TV, and your favorite gaming console. Capital Wrestling. Catch the new wave.
Want more Capital Wrestling content? Then look no further than our Instagram. Follow at Capital Wrestling today and see every moment the Capital has to offer, as well as match announcements, merchandise deals, and more. Come to the Capital and follow our Instagram today. Want to watch every single episode of Capital Wrestling Television? Miss an episode of the Capital Wrestling Podcast? Don't fret, because the Capital Wrestling YouTube channel has all that and more. YouTube.com/Capital Wrestling is your hub for all things Capital.
Citizens of the Capitol, Zane Decker here at the Capitol Control Center, and I am thrilled to announce that next week will be the 100th episode of Capitol Wrestling. We would not have reached this milestone without all of you watching on Fight, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and now RNN. One of the key players that has brought Capitol to its 100th episode is Capitol Wrestling champion Matt McIntosh. Next week, McIntosh defends his coveted championship against the brash upstart KC Navarro, who seems to never be at a loss for words. We caught up with KC, and here's what he had to say about the champ.
Apples. Apples are such generic fruits. I mean, when they get hot, they get soft. And people only put up with them because they've been around for so long. But I'm not impressed with apples, just like I'm not impressed with Matt McIntosh. And I mean, apples are bad enough, but bad apples, they just spoil the whole bunch. And on February 2nd, I plan on keeping Capital Wrestling blessed and fresh.
Will Matt McIntosh successfully defend the Capital Wrestling Championship and his orchard? Or will the hot boy, KC Navarro, pick apart the bad apple and prove that he really is Mr. Worldwide? Find out next week on our 100th episode, and keep it locked here at the Capitol Control Center for all of your updates.
You know, I feel real disrespected. Management comes and tells me, this is what we want you to do. We want you to tell about your little story that you've been telling for the past 6 months. About how you are the guy that wasn't supposed to be here and you rose up the ranks and now you're the champ and blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you a story. How the house has been looking since the Bad Apple's been champion, huh? They've been way up. We're debuting in China, Zimbabwe, we're on Fight TV, GWN. After everything I've done for Capital Wrestling, tonight, you give me a kid whose balls haven't even dropped yet. Don't get me wrong. KC Navarro is a hell of an athlete. The kid's probably got the brightest future out of anybody in this business. And it reminds me a lot of me. When I used to come in here and I used to tell people, I'm the best. I'm the bad apple. The difference is, I'm the guy that proves it. So tonight, all this talking, all this hashtag blessed stuff, it doesn't matter. Because now you're in the big leagues. Welcome to the main event, kid. How do you like them apples?